Hey guys, welcome to Tennessee DIY. Just wanted to give you a little review video, but before the review, just an unboxing of the brand new, of course it's been around for a little while, Teewing Mars, and it's a 72 volt 45 amp hour, and only the XTR, there's an XT that's 8,000 watt peak, but the XTR is a 10,000 watt peak, 2,000 watt dual motors. I love the wheels on here. I'll bring you in a little closer. Look at this. You've got the chrome silver on black, and it's just a beautiful scooter. It's got the BMW style telever system, which you can read all over their website. But the Teewing, basically it's the Mars 11 from Gspace, but they revamped it to sell here in the US as Teewing. And Teewing Mars, you got one thing that sold me on this one is the super big battery, and then this side is your inverter hookup for 1500 watt 3000 watt peak inverter that you can run your refrigerator and run your camping site, or if you have a power outage you can basically roll this inside, clean sine wave energy. It's beautiful. LED headlight, and I put this bag on here with a big orange reflector sticker just so no one hits it. Of course it comes with the Mars steel plate underneath. It's just a beautiful, and the new iteration of these came with a hybrid street tire, off-road on-road tire, whereas in some of the other videos it was strictly a knobby tire. But anyway, the video today is for showing how to unbox. I got two of these, so my wife and I are gonna be riding them. These are your charge ports. You can charge dual. It comes with a 6 amp high powered charger, and they say if you want to do two chargers you need a 4 amp because you don't exceed 10 amps of charging, so don't hook two 6 amp chargers up. But yeah, all aluminum construction. You can see right there the 440 pound low capacity and the 72 volt 45 amp hour. These come, only the XTRs come with the Samsung GB batteries, which are some of the best. FOC controllers, which is a little step up from the sine wave and the square controllers. But yeah, I'll show you some more on it, but I just want to kind of give you some snippets of how we set it up with when you get it out of the box, putting these clamps on, getting this on, and how we put the light on. And I'll show you just a quick settings in this video is what it's for. So anyway guys, we'll go ahead and get into the unboxing of it, and I'll slide over here and show you what we got. So of course these come from China, and you'll get two boxes. You get a gift box. Inside this gift box you're going to have a bunch of little components, and then some more components in this one beside you. The charger, and I've already laid it out so you can kind of see what you're going to get. So you get your headlight, your grill that goes over it. You got your Teewing stabilizer bar that I just showed you, some tools, little rear mud flap extender. These put your lights together, extra set of brake pads. This is an extra set of 2 bolts. There's no spot for them. I'm not sure if they're just some spare bolts for maybe a different rendition that they put in here. There's your 6 amp charger, and you got these 2 clamp-ons, and then your 2 caps that go up on top. So anyway, I'll show you right when you open your box. Here's the other one. I haven't taken it out yet. You got all this foam that's going to come out. It'll sit in just like this, and these 4, what you want to do right off the bat is you'll have these 4 Velcro straps holding these wires in place. You're going to put those back on later, but just go ahead and take those right off, because you got to slip and slide these brackets over, and there is no complete put together video. And this video will probably work for the 6,000 watt, 8,000 watt, and of course my XTR is 10,000 watts put together video, because they're all the Mars version. So just throw those down, and then what you want to do is, while these poles are totally clean, okay, poles are clean with nothing on them, you want to go ahead and get your sleeves. If you notice right here, there's a couple grub screws. And those grub screws are so when you lift this up, if you happen to get just a little bit of play down the road, you can tighten that grub screw up. And then there's another grub screw right here that you can just make sure those aren't loose. Those are literally your anti-play grubs. Now when you get those other clamps that we're going to put on here, it should take all that play away, but I like to go in there and tighten those up. So I'm just going to do that real fast, since I told you how we're going to do it, and then I'll get back with you about how to slide these things on here. So let's pause this for a minute. Guys, it comes with a little tool, and you can use this. It fits most of them. You may want to have a couple extra Allens if you want to just go over all the bolts and check to make sure they're good. But anyway, like I said, you'd pull all the foam out and then pull those two Velcro strips off each side. And then I'm also going to make sure that these little hinge screws, because this is made if you want to take it down, put it in the car and back up. But you know, I like to make sure before I get it all together that there's nothing loose, that it was put together nice. So I just made sure the grub screws are just right. They're alignment screws, so if you over tighten one of those little side grub screws right there, there's two in there, then you could almost have your bar, like if you go too tight, you could almost have your bar tilt backwards or come forward. So they're more of alignment screw. Just make sure that where you have them, that they're not loose sitting there, but that your poles look really nice and straight without any crookedness to them. So definitely made for alignment, which is really nice. So I kind of am looking down each pipe and they look nice and straight. Yeah, they look good. So everything's adjustable, and that's nice. So, and these we're just gonna slide right over, but I'm gonna check this real fast. All right guys, so with the tool, I literally just went in here on each side. Don't over torque them, just make sure they're a little snug. I got mine snug, just you don't want anything coming loose rather than once you get all this put together. So what we're gonna do now is show you. You can slide these. I kind of faced on the other one. I faced the one on the outside and the other on the inside. So I literally just want to get these on first. Just slide it down nice and easy, and as you can see, loosen them up just a little bit. It just slips right over, just like that. And then your pipe's already pretty firm. Slide the other one on. Easy peasy. There's really no top or bottom. Just slide over the pipe. Before you get this thing out of the box, you got to start getting it together because it's very heavy. Okay, so actually, I like one, if you notice, on my other one that I put together, trying to make it aesthetically really nice. So I've got two on the front and facing these inward, because when they're faced inward, I'll show you, they just look cooler, you know, being faced with this all aligned. Less stuff on the outside. Keep all this stuff on the inside, and that's how I've got it set up. And I've got one on the back, two on the front. So let's kind of just copy that. You can do it whatever way you want, but that's just the way I like it. So two on the back on this one, one on the front. So actually, there's a, if you want it to be uniform, I'm going to flip it. All right, now we got two on the back, one on the front. There we go. And so we can tighten those up. What I'm going to do is tighten those up and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, we're going to go for the middle joiner. Nice Teewing on the front. And this is why you want to have all those things off. Now, I told you I was going to tighten these up. I really didn't tighten them yet because you want to kind of leave it loose up here so everything works. I'm going to let this go all the way to the bottom for now. And then we'll get the handlebars put on, and then we'll raise it. I put it exactly in half. So once the handlebars are up here, I measure down about 15.5 inches on each side of it, and literally I'll tighten these two screws, you know, right here is where I'm going to put it. So anyway, slide that on there, and then you can go ahead and get your handlebars pulled up here. Hold on just a second, let me prop the camera up. And what you want to do is, this comes down to here. Make sure your cables are totally unwound, where you don't have any pinched cable lines here, okay? Because you're going to stretch this to get this up over the top of here, because it has a little bit of tension. And there's these little Velcro pinchers in there, so those are easy to kind of loosen up and move. And you want to better get your handlebars on there, so I just want to show you that. Guys, we just stretched out those cables just a tad, and we're able to get the handlebars. They literally just sit, if you notice this. Just place them just like that. Okay. Get out the camera so you can see. Kind of just over the top. Okay. Don't pinch any wires. Make sure it seats. And you can see, kind of finagle it just a little bit. Make sure it gets gently. There you go. Nice and easy seat. You can tell, sorry the camera's moving fast, but one-handed show here. These have a lip on the top of this, so when it seats down, you're down. You know you're there, okay? But the big thing is you do not want to get this all put together up on top here and forget to slide these sleeves over. You get this sleeve, like I said, these clamp sleeves on first. Nothing's tight yet, okay? And then make sure you don't forget your little brace here. Put on there. And then what you want to go for next is your little screw caps that came in. These are nice heavy-duty aluminum. The whole thing is built out of aluminum. I think the only thing that might be steel, I'm not certain, is this little Mars steel front plate, brush guard or whatever. But then you put these caps on, just one more layer of security so your handlebars don't come off. So they just screw right into your top there. And if I can get it threaded, let's see, should be easy, just doing it with the wrong hand. Yeah, screw it in nice like that, and that literally pinches the handlebars. It's very secure. And what I recommend is don't make these tight yet. Just leave them a little loose. Just get them in, leave them a little loose, and then you want to tighten these up too. So yeah, preferentially, maybe we should tighten these up first so it pinches that handlebar tight, and then tighten these up. That's probably the best thing to do, because the whole thing still is getting aligned and straight. So anyway, we'll get those tightened up, and then we'll show you the next step. Guys, I actually took a measurement from the main other bracket down there and just came up to about 12.5 to where this, if you get right down that bracket, 12.5 under this bracket. And then if you look from the top under that bracket to the top of this bracket, it's 12.5. So we're pretty much equal, exactly where we need to be. So everything looks aesthetically nice, and got that bolted in there. Just tighten that bolt and that bolt down. I still have these loose, that way everything can align itself. And then what we're going to do next is tighten these two bolts, and I'll get back with you. Guys, just make these finger tight where they're snug, but where you could actually get them loose with your fingers, and then tighten these down, and then come back and tighten these, because if you pinch these really tight, then you're going to restrict this from pinching itself properly. So you want to pinch these main ones first, and then come back down there and seal the caps on top. So that's what we're going to do next. Nice and snug, guys. Use the tool provided. Don't over tighten them. Just remember, you're going to be going fast in this scooter, so make them snug. And sorry for the shaky phone. Just kind of doing this DIY today. This one you see it I put together. Okay, so you can see I'm putting some good tension on that. You don't want to strip them or make them or over thread anything, but you definitely want to be tight. And then now that you got those tight, come back here gently. Don't want to scratch your knobs. Get you a good pair of pliers on there, and just tighten your caps down a little bit. Those just kind of are your safety mechanism. Same here. I got my arm on the handlebar just to kind of give me a little bit of leverage on the outer rubber grip. There we go. Not too tight, just where it's all solid. Keep in mind we haven't tightened these down yet. We're going to tighten those next as the last step. So you'll just kind of screw this like usual. You can screw this back thing while you're holding the front lever, and then just make it where you can bend them over without having too much pressure on them. We're going to do that next. Alright guys, we got the caps done. Those are snug. These are snug. We got these snug, which, you know, I'll show you kind of how much tension I put on these bolts. Probably go a little bit tighter now that we got the top done. You never want to go too tight on any one bolt until you get most of your thing put together, because then it will not align properly, okay? So now that we got the top done, we can come back and cinch these up a little bit more. Just remember, you're going high speed, so you want everything to be as aligned as possible. They don't really have a notch or marking on this pipe to where to put this, so just like I said, measure from under here to the top of here, and then I measured from here up to the bottom of this one, and it was like 12.5 inches each, and it makes it perfectly centered. All right, so out of the factory, I always go over all the little bolts just to make sure, and I already knew this. These handlebar clamp bolts were totally loose, so they do that so you can adjust your whole positioning here if you want, but just make sure you tighten those up. Don't take off at a high-speed run, and don't tighten those. And of course your screen here is made loose on purpose so you can, in shipping, if something were to jog, it wouldn't crack it if it was sealed tight. So make sure you come here and tighten the back of the bolts behind it as well. You don't want to have any steering handlebars come loose while you're cranking at that type of speed. And another thing that I noticed too is they have clamps on your rubber grips, so when you're cranking high speed, behind the plastic here, I'll show you. So you got this little clamp connected to the rubber, so your handlebars won't twist on it, because I mean, when you're taking off accelerating. And you got the NFC for your keys. It's so nice. I already got that set up on the other scooter. It works very nicely. But yeah, you just want to make sure your handlebars are positioned in the position you want them, and tighten those bolts up. All right, I'll show you what's next in a minute. All right, guys, so the next step while you're at it is you got purple, two purple, and then you'll see the yellow or orange, and that'll go to your headlight. We'll hook that up later, but we're going to go ahead and connect these. Okay, now that we've got these tight, I went ahead and just keep in mind you're standing up really high on this, so if you aim the screen this way, you're not going to see it very good unless you're a shorter rider. I'm 6'1", so and most of our riders are pretty tall, so I've got it kind of got this slid up right about there, and then laid the screen back. You'll tighten this bolt and tighten these two bolts on each side. Don't over tighten anything, and then another one on this back side. We're going to do that now. We just got this one tightened down. We're tightening this one down next, and then we're going to pull it out of the box. Alright guys, we are getting ready to pull this thing out of the box. We'll get to you. Got the foam all off it, guys, and we are about to take it out of the box. It's going to be a two-person job because it's just so heavy. What I did is I tilted the box up and held the handlebars and rolled the front tire out of the front of the box on the other one because it's just too heavy to deadlift. So we'll get it out of the box and get back. Don't forget to put your Velcro straps, one up here and one right here, together real quick before you pull it out so you don't rip those wires. Guys, you want to make sure you tighten up your handlebar nuts, because if you don't, your handlebars will twist and you don't want to get cranking at high speed. Also, I've ordered mirrors for mine, and these little caps are made to pop right out and stick the mirror in. And this right here is the type of mirror I'm putting in it. This is on one of my high-speed e-bikes, and it's just really nice. You can adjust it way up so you can see behind you, and they just fold in really nicely. It is out of the box, and now I'm going to start working on getting the headlight installed. Of course, you got your NFC keys, and I'll show you the computer here in just a second. Because of the suspension telelever system, you can actually reach in here and turn your spring, and then you can adjust your damping fast, which is on fastest right now. I'm going to go to about half, is what I did in the other one, to keep it a little squishier. It's a so nice system. I love it. We have the little extra rain guard, so when the rain's flying up here, it doesn't hit you. I don't know how long it will last. It's kind of rubbery, just something they threw in there, it looks like. So let's go ahead and peel it off. Stick it in here. Get that peeled off, guys, and just kind of line up the black rubber sticky area. And make sure it looks about aligned. Push it up from underneath, stick it. Of course, I wiped it down, make sure it was clean underneath there. Haven't reddened it yet. So it's, you know, it's what it is. I don't know if that'll last, but You know, so it should help that water hit that and go away. But like I said, you can kind of already see the black cover they have on this clear plastic is the glue. So it may not last, but it's what it is. We'll see. You could always do a little DIY plastic extender on there if you wanted to, instead of just a little flimsy, whatever it is. So, guys, we're going to top these off to 36, 37 PSI on the front and the back. That's what you want to run them at. They say 50 max, but just remember, if you're in hot weather, they're going to get hot as you ride, and that's, you don't want to overinflate them. So we're going to do that. We just got the light put on, guys. You want to put this cover, I'll show you. See how the metal grill guard, let's focus that, is on the outside as a washer, and then you put the little black washer against the light, and then check the bracket out. So the bracket, put the open side of the bracket on the outside and come around here. This other piece locks in behind solid and goes right up to there, and use the long bolt. There's some shorter bolts that come with it, but, and of course the back of your light is your loud horn as well. So do that on the same side. Basically what I did is measured exactly half between here and here, and went ahead and put that dead center solid. If you do it right, and the reason why I say put this outer bracket, focus that, on the outside, is because you want on the inside of here, this bracket is closer for the width of this light to fit right and not have a huge gap out here. If you were to put this on the outside, this would set you up right about here, and there's too much of a gap to pull to get this light snug and to get the fit right. But as you can tell, each of these sides have just a little bit of a pull inward when you tighten them up, but kind of get it all together and slowly adjust all around as you go. It's beautiful. Look at that. Very nice. All right, I'll show you some of the computer settings. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Of course, when you hook that light up, don't forget your yellow cables go together, and watch those little tiny pins. There's a little alignment thing, and make sure that alignment gets together right. That's what it looks like right there. It has just that little pin area. Make sure it lines up, and then watch those tiny pins to make sure you don't bend one. But yeah, guys, go ahead and get your NFC cards, and you'll want to, first initiation to activate your scooter, just tap it on here. Watch the white light. See how the white light lights up? Now that's lit up, then go ahead and hold your button for 3 seconds, and Teewing comes up on the dash. And what you want to do is to get into your main settings, okay? Do not hit any other button on your scooter right now. Don't take it out for a drive. Don't do anything, because if you do that, when you hit this, hold down the mode button for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. I just came into settings, okay? Now, what you're going to see here is only my last trip data. And so you can't get into your major settings yet until you completely shut the scooter down and lock it and then turn it back on. So you'll feel like, man, I can't get into the major settings to set everything up. So anyway, we're not going to clear that. So we'll just click on no. It's no is selected, and it will take us right back to the main screen. So it's really cool. 100% charge on this one with the 6-amp charger. I already got 11 miles on this one, all broken in nicely. Of course, you got your loud horn, which comes right out of the back of your light. You've got that nice bright headlight. It's just beautiful. And I tested it at night. It's actually really extremely bright. I mean, some guys have wanted a little more on there. I put a little bag on here, but it's probably won't leave it on there. It's just something, a little bit of orange reflective tip on the front of that bag. It's a good marker, but I don't know. I'm not so big on it. But you got that light. You got your tail light back here. Of course, I added this little flasher light, a little bit of side Velcro onto the fender, and then around that rubber piece, just some more strap Velcro sticky together. And that's one of those super bright flashers, so you don't hit you. But yeah, you got your regular light, and then it accentuates, as you can see on the fender, when you hit your brakes. And of course, you got turn signal and the other turn signal, extremely bright. What's cool is you can click both on at the same time, and when both are on, you have dual flashing. So if you just want to be extra visible at night, you can do that. You can turn your headlight off during the daytime, and there you go. You got just extreme bright flashers, which is really sweet. It's a cool feature. All right, and then you got the good hydraulic nut brakes, NFC, of course. Now, one thing you don't want to do is, when I first rode my first ride, this hangs right here on the cable when you get it. As you can see on the other scooter, it's hanging right there. This was hanging right here, and while I was riding at 30 miles an hour, the wind blew it. Watch this. Turn these turn signals off. The wind blew this up, and it went like that. It just, look at that. Right when it hit that, instant lock, and it killed my scooter. So, point to remember, don't let these be very close anywhere. Take them off, put them in your pocket, because, you know, it might leave you in a precarious situation with traffic. So, of course, that was just because I left them there when I started the scooter the first time, but just remember that. Okay, we're turning it back on. We're going into settings again. Three seconds on the thing after you hit the NFC reader. You got there, and then we're gonna see if we can get into, now that we haven't pushed any buttons, see if we can get into the deeper settings of the scooter. Okay, see that? So shut it back off, turn it back on, then you get into the deeper settings. Okay, so the first thing is exit, next one is model, and I'm just hitting the minus buttons, or plus, minus or plus, to go back up and down. So we're going down now. All right, guys, try to get that focus. Backlight is for your dash, so it's nice and bright during the day. I've got that set at 5. Clock, I set that up. Password, I'm not setting the password up because we just ride out from the house and back to the house. I might do that later. I set it to the maximum auto off time of 10 minutes, so it just doesn't shut off so quickly. Wheels are 11 inch if you happen to put a 12-inch tire on there at some point, or 13, whatever. I think maybe 12 is the max, I forget. But you could change that. Keep clicking, keep going the minus button, get to drive mode. Okay, everybody had questions about this mode, so I literally messaged Teewing and Gspace directors, and they said that this is all controlled by the turbo button, so that function is non-existent. Even though it's there and can highlight, these buttons control that. So even if you were to click on the close or the open, it doesn't make any difference, and then exit. So literally I just leave it in the open mode. It doesn't change anything. All right, speed limit, I have it set maximum 100%. That way I don't get limited, but you could limit it down if you were in a different region that only let you go a certain limit. I have it set on mile per hour. Battery info, you can click on that, and it's just going to show you that you got 100%, 83 volts, which is pretty cool. We'll have the exit button. System info just shows you your serial number and whatnot. Exit. Okay, you want to hit the end button to exit when you're back up on the exit. Okay, this is what you want to watch. Startup strength. This is big. When you first get on your scooter, startup strength will be set at 3. I would recommend, unless you're a hyper scooter driver already, go to 1. You're still going to reach your top speeds. This doesn't have anything to do with these, like from here in your mode buttons, speed modes, you have 0 to 5, and that is just to reach top speed. Like every 1 is about 10 mile, 2 is 20 mile per hour, 3 is 30 mile per hour, 4 is 40, and 5 is 50 and above, no limit. But this has nothing to do with that. This has how fast your motors are going to torque value. So I would leave it in 1 because it comes in 3, and you hit that FOC controlled throttle. There's no dead space in it, and it'll launch you forward and back, and you feel like it's out of control until you get used to it. Plus, mode 1 will save your tires. If you're not racing anybody or doing anything crazy, mode 1 is going to give you just the very smoothest acceleration, still super amount of power, but it's going to save your tires and everything else. So anyway, I leave it in that mode. Let's go to exit. Actually, we're going to select, hit the M button, and now you can see startup strength is in 1. Okay, ABS. So this has ABS, electronic ABS track, like traction control, but not full traction control. It's more electronic regenerative braking. So I set this at 5, and literally it's the tap of the brakes. Your it'll actuate your electronic motors, and those motors will slow you down faster than your pads do anything. So that almost threw me over the handlebars, so I'd set it back at 3. 3 is a great regen braking. If you were going to go downhill forever with, you want to make sure your battery's a little lower. If you're going to go a 10-mile downstretch hill, you could probably put it in a higher regen setting, brake assist, but I would say 5 is just way too aggressive. It'll dead stop you on a dime, burn your tires off, and almost launch you off the handlebars. 3 is beautiful. 1, you're going to burn a lot more physical brake pads. 0, you're just going to coast to a stop and be all physical brake pads. So I would always suggest using at least some regenerative braking, 2 or 3. That'll give you juice back in your battery, and it will also save your physical brake pads to be more electronic braking. It's a beautiful feature. So 3 it is for me. And then you got 0 startup. So if you go to 0, then that means when you're standing still, you accidentally hit the throttle button when your speed mode is in 1 or above. There's a neutral as well for 0, so it won't go anywhere. But if you have it in 0, then you can hit the throttle in mode 1 and it will peel off the line. You might not even be on the scooter and you'll wreck. So I suggest leaving it in 1. That gives you where you just had to do a slight roll of the scooter kickoff to get the wheels actuated, and then the throttle works, which is a safe feature. I like that. Some guys don't like it. And of course, in the last setting you have is just reset. We don't need that. So we're going to go all the way back up. We got all our settings the way we like it. I would recommend these settings for getting started with it. Exit, and then these are the modes I'm talking about. So you can go 1, that's we get 10 mile per hour, and I'm just clicking the plus over here. While you're driving, you can do this, and you can go all up to 5. 5 is extremely aggressive, and I just love the screen, just how it's laid out. Anyway, that's pretty much sums up, guys. Trying to think if there's anything else I noticed. Other than that, NFC is great. You got your headlight, your turn signals, power. You can leave it in neutral here, and that'll also make the throttle not work. The eco button, I also messaged Gspace / Teewing, and corporate said that when you turn eco button on when it's blue, that means that it's an instant limiter. No matter what setting, if you're 1 to 5 here, you'll only reach anywhere from 10 to 13 mile per hour. As just an eco green space, like pedestrian instant override. So that's nice. So other than that, you're always going to leave that off and ride in turbo. The single, right now, if the blue light is lit, you're in dual motors, front and back. And if you just are cruising and don't need a lot of torque and a lot of speed, you can ride in single motor. That's real leisurely. It won't reach your top speeds in that. So, like I noticed that if I'm dual motors, I can reach your like 10 mile per hour in 1. Whereas if I'm in single motor, I only reach like 8 mile per hour in 1. And if I'm in, it's the same thing all the way through the gears. You're like 3 mile per hour less in single versus dual. And of course, you'll achieve those speeds a lot quicker in dual. But being in torque vector settings at a different one in here, like I was telling you about, that'll make sure you don't burn your rubber off so fast, give you overall control and stability. And guys, overall, I'm telling you, I love it. It's just a beautiful scooter. Got 2 of them. And we're ready to ride. Got fully charged, 100%. And with that 6 amp, show you. I'm gonna put the light on the other one still. I just wanted to get you guys that video. This has a nice big fan on the back. Check it. It's just beautiful. Look at the specs here. Teewing, and it's out of the box. You get a 84 volt 6 amp charger. And like I mentioned before, they say this in the manual. See, I have 2 Teewings now, okay? So I have 2 6 amp chargers. Do not hook up, even though there's dual ports on here, okay? Check the lights out too. I didn't show you that yet when it's on. You can go to an app and download an app and control if you want to just stay a certain color. So far, I'm not going to mess with the app. What comes with standard is just going to rotate all its colors and do its own little fast. It'll speed up, slow down, do all its little thing. It's cool. I don't care to set it to a specific color. I think it's nice out of the box. But oh yeah, and I was just going to say you can tighten the rebound adjuster, and it really works well. On the back, I went to literally 2 clicks away from the slowest rebound because it keeps from being so bouncy. A nice firm ride, but still squishy enough. And it's just beautiful. The cable management on the scooter is just beautiful. And the double wishbone back here on the rear, that's also amazing suspension. And of course your front, it's just the way it's built. It's just like a vehicle. So good, keeps the pressure off all the points where nothing really would wear out. It's just beautifully built. So I love it. But anyway, guys, I was saying about the chargers, because I have two, they say do not do more than 10 amp if you're gonna dual charge on these, okay? Got these two caps. Some of the guys are saying they're a little finicky to get the caps off. You know, it is tight for your fingers, but to be honest with you, I'd rather than be tight and waterproof. It literally just, I made them pretty tight, but once you get it loose, it comes off easy. No complaints. I'd rather have more watertight security than have something coming out while I'm driving. So, and I did buy the one 1500 watt inverter that came with it, just in case we have power outage. That was a big selling point for me. And that would plug in to this blue side here. Of course, here's your fire extinguisher and gas explosion port in case they got pressure in them. This one had one little nick out of the box, but I just put a little black magic marker on it, no worries. But yeah, if you don't exceed, you couldn't do two 6 amp chargers. You would have to have a 4 amp hour charger and a 6 amp if you wanted to charge this up in the fastest time. But to be honest with you guys, 6 amps is a nice powerful charger, and to let it run for about 6 to 8 hours if you get down to about 20%. They say not to run your batteries completely dead unless you're in an emergency. So I'd suggest no more than 20-30% and then start charging it again. But let it cool off a little bit and you're good to go. But don't exceed 10 amps charging. And other than that, it's a beautiful scooter. Excited to ride. And I've got a lot of unicycles and a lot of other stuff too. And I tell you, we just love doing the PEV and doing that type of stuff. It's just so fun. And so we got e-bikes, and I thought about doing the InMotion RS, but it's been having some wire issues. They'll get that figured out. I like InMotion, they're really good. I've got their climber scooters and unicycles and stuff, but I just felt like Teewing for the best range, huge battery, especially the XTR has the biggest battery, and just overall build quality incredible. So guys, it's a longer video, but I just wanted to show you guys how to put it together. Didn't see any put together videos besides, you know, quick pop this on, pop this off from the two other guys. They're more ride videos, so I figured this would help some people. And so anyway, if you like it, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, TNSA DIY, share it with your friends. And if you get one of these, I don't really have a coupon code, not sponsored or anything, but it's just a private video. But yeah, you can directly message them on Teewing, and they may give you a discount code, but the people are in China, so when you message, they'll probably text you back early in the morning. And they have a place in California and New York, and they're very good. It's very reliable. Some people feel like, is it legit? If I spend all that money, am I going to get it? I have the same questions, and so I did a lot of background research on everything. I contacted Gspace about the rep for Teewing, and they confirmed everything was good, so I went out on a limb and got them. And they came in quick. The rep was awesome, and so you won't be disappointed. And if you need parts and stuff, just message Gspace or Teewing directly, and they'll answer your questions and they'll mail you out a part. I noticed in the box 15-month warranty on the batteries and everything, as long as you don't do anything to mistreat them or something that they say in there. So yeah, they've extended that warranty, it looks like, from 12 months to 15 months. So anyway, guys, thumbs up, subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you're still here, be safe riding, wear your helmets, and enjoy getting out in nature and out of the house.